Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 12 o'clock on a Sunday, which means it's time for a Q&A. This is where I take all the questions that you've asked over the course of the last 2 weeks and I answer them to the best of my ability. Thanks very much for everyone who said they enjoyed the ultimate guide to producing a magic trick last week. It was a lot of fun to do and I'm glad you guys enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. So I've got 2 weeks of questions now. So this is going to be a bumper long edition of the Q&A. So I'm going to try and rattle through the answers as quickly as possible. Once again, please remember, if you have any questions, ask them in the thread down below. Ask them in the comments on this video. It is almost impossible to find them if you ask them anywhere else. And I will get to them next week. If I haven't asked you a question, just ask it again. There's some amazing questions this week. So without further ado, let's get into this week's questions. Okay, so the first question is by Mouse in a Bucket. Hey, Mouse in a Bucket. Great username. Hopefully I'm not too late to pose a question. Nope. Is there a confabulation routine you might recommend for walk-around work? I'm a massive fan of the plot, yes, and yet to see a version that works within the limitations of a restaurant setting. Okay, so that's a great question, and the answer is yes. Just very quickly for people that are watching this that don't know what a confabulation is. It's basically the whole concept of predicting ahead of time a series of things that a spectator chooses, normally 3 different things that the spectator chooses. So, you know, you might predict the restaurant that they go out to and how much money they spend and, you know, what they ordered in the restaurant. That would be a confabulation. Now, Mouse in the Bucket is right. A lot of the methods to do a confabulation are generally more suitable for stage. So a lot of the methods that we're kind of accustomed to use double writing. So in the action of writing something down, you're actually writing it again, and there's normally justification for doing this, and then you'd palm that thing off and load it somewhere. That's normally how a confabulation works. But if you actually think about a confabulation, if you actually boil it down, what you have in essence is you need to reveal 3 pieces of information. Now, that doesn't necessarily have to be double writing. You can use a combination of forcing methods. If you had a force bag, a force deck and something else, you could do a confabulation, because ultimately that's what you're doing. Another example of a confabulation is Message in a Bottle by Scott and Puck, which is fantastic, which is allowing you to write the information in real time as you're apparently trying to write it on a board. And then you've got that wonderful method to get into the bottle. Lots of different, but again, that's on stage. So we go back to the original question. What's a good way to do confabulation in a restaurant setting or in a close-up setting? Now, I've done confabulation for years. It's a plot that I like as well, and I've got a few different ways of doing this. In all honesty with you, my favorite way of doing confabulation is the confabulation that I taught on Visible. So if you don't know Visible is my project on the Invisible deck. And I applied the Invisible deck to a confabulation routine. So I do this presentation where I put a deck of cards down on the table and I say, that's my prediction, we're going to put that over there. And I talk about how I went to a poker game once and I asked the spectators whether I'd won or lost the poker game. I asked them what time the poker game took place. I asked them how much money I had to bet with. And when I won, what card I actually won with. I ask all this information. And the nice thing about it is it's a combination of methods. So there's a couple of, so for example, with the money, I'm using Equivoke in order to force that particular outcome. But everything else is a free choice. And when you've got a combination of free choice and Equivoke, what it does is it strengthens the moments that you're actually forcing something. And then, you know, at the end, I'm able to show that I predicted everything. I predicted the entire outcome. Now, I spoke to Dee at the 1914, and he has given me permission, very, very nicely, to share with you the performance of the Visible project, so you can see exactly how that confabulation looks. So I'm gonna roll that footage right now. This is the confabulation that I do. If I was working restaurants still, this is the confabulation I would do, because it is super effective. You just need a deck of cards, which you're going to have in play anyway, and you need this deck, which you put down and you say that's the prediction deck, and you're good to go, and it instantly resets. So it ticks all the boxes. You don't need a table, it resets. It's a different outcome every single time. So it ticks all the boxes for me when it comes to commercial close-up restaurant work. So I'm going to share that with you right now, but in answer to your question, this is what I would do, and I'm biased because it's my routine, but this is what I would do if I was working in a restaurant and I wanted to do a confabulation.
So I've been a professional magician for like 25 years, but at confession time, I don't actually play cards. I don't know the difference between poker and blackjack and pontoon and crib and all these different things, which is kind of weird in the magic world. You know, most magicians are into... I've been using playing cards for like 25 years, but I don't actually play cards other than this one time. And I'm going to tell you about that. It's going to be story time with Craig right now. But it's going to be interactive. We're going to create a kind of an interactive story, the four of us. And before I do, I should tell you that I have a prediction inside this pack of cards. What I did is I turned one card over and I wrote on the back of that. I wrote a few different things. I wrote quite a bit of information on the back of this card and I flipped it over in the pack so you know which card it is that I wrote on the back of. We're going to get back to that later on. It's not really about the deck of cards. It's more about this story. And the story is about the one and only time I got invited to go and play cards. Now, a lot of my friends won't even play cards with me, even if I knew how to play cards, because they're going to think I'm cheating. Now, they're right, obviously. I would cheat. That's a given. I mean, why did I spend 25 years locked in a bedroom learning this stuff, if not to cheat? But we're going to talk about the one time that I did get invited to a card game. Now, we're going to fill in the details together. So, first of all, bearing in mind, I have been working with packs of cards for about 25 years. There's stuff with packs of cards that I can do that almost nobody else in the world can do. Do you think, Pauline, when I went to that game, do you think I won or I lost?
You lost.
No, Pauline, I won. You need to have some faith in me, Pauline. I mean, come on. I cheat for a living. This is what I do. I won. I absolutely killed everybody. But that's not really about the story. The story is when I got there. So, Kira, I'll tell you right now, I didn't have much money to gamble with. I only had one banknote in my pocket. Now you're going to decide which one. Let's use our imagination, because this is all about using our imagination. I want you to pretend I've got an invisible £5 note, an invisible £10 note, an invisible £20 note, and an invisible £50 note. 5, 10, 20, 50. Can you reach forward and take two of those notes off me? What have you got?
The 5 and the 20.
The 5 and the 20, and you know what? You can keep those as a souvenir. That leaves us with the 10 and the 50, right? What I'd like you to do is push one towards me, either the 10 or the 50. Which one have you pushed?
The 50.
Wonderful. I'll hold on to that one. And what does that leave on the table?
The
The
10.
£10 note. Thank you. Wonderful. What's weird is I did only have a £10 note in my pocket when I went to that game. You're brilliant. Now, let's talk about the time that I actually went and played this game. Mm-hmm. Now, it might not have been in the evening, it might not have been in the morning, it might not have been in the afternoon. Let me ask you a question. What time do you think it was? Well, let's break that down. What hour do you think it was? Was it 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? What hour of the day was it?
Let's say 3 p.m.
It was 3 p.m. Now, this is important. Was it bang on 3 p.m? Or was it closer to 3:15? Or was it closer to 3:30? Or was it closer to 3:45?
Let's say 3:06.
Well, so that would be closer to...
Closer to 3.
Closer to 3. So should we go 3 or should we go 3:15?
Let's go 3.
Of course, all the choices have to be made by you. Yeah?
Bang on, 3.
Bang on, closer to 3. Okay, wonderful. That's good. So 3 o'clock, closer to 3. And there's one last thing, obviously, which is I did win the game, like I told you. I won the game. And I won with one particular card. When I had my winning hand and I cleaned up, there was one card that caused me to win. Now, I would like you to work out what that card is. But this is why I have another deck of cards here. You see, psychologically, if I have somebody just name a card, they'll typically go for a Queen of Hearts, or they'll go for a Queen of Diamonds. Some people will go for a King of Diamonds or an Ace of Spades, but there's certain cards that are psychologically more appealing than others. Does that make sense? So this is why I've got this pack of cards here. What we're going to use this pack of cards for is to randomize our choices, because I don't want you to say later on, well, okay, I don't know how the thing was done, but everybody picks that card. So what I'm going to do, Kira, is I'm going to cut cards onto the table like this, and as I do, anytime you want to, just say stop.
Stop.
There, are you sure? Mm-hmm. Could you have a look at that card for me?
Yes.
Can you remember it?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So now we have all the elements of the story. We have that I won. We have that it was £10 in my pocket when I walked in. We had the time, which was 3 o'clock. We have the card, whatever that may be. Do you remember I said that I had a prediction? And I put it in a card that was turned over, and it's been over here in front of you from the very beginning. Do you remember that? First of all, what I want to do is take the cards out of the case. And I want to spread through to show you that because it's actually really close to the top here. And the first thing I want you to see, well, let me show you. I'm going to take it out because you're not going to believe this. First of all, I want you to see, look, I won. I had £10 and I had 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. You said 3 o'clock. I had 3 o'clock. You said £10. £10. You said I won. But the thing is, and this is the weird thing, you picked a card.
Yeah.
And I wrote this on the back of one card.
Yeah.
What card did you pick?
The 3 of clubs.
Really, the 3 of clubs?
Yeah.
That was the card that I won with. And to prove it to you, I wrote all this information on the back of it.
Oh my god. That's brilliant.
That's good.
Thank you.
Oh god.
Okay, so various people, quite a few people have asked me the same question. Schwartz Maggie, Pops Elliott, lots of them, like too many to name. And they've all asked the same question. I'd love to see a video about time management. Please do a video or a series on time management. I literally want to know how you manage being a business owner of multiple businesses, content creator, family man, how you interact with Ryland, because I'm absolutely shit with time management. Well, it's done. It's done. I have put together a video that's about 40 minutes long. Now, it could be the first in the series, but this video is 8 tips that I can give you on how to manage your time effectively. And this will work whether you are, so if you're a self-employed magician, or a full-time magician, or a semi-professional magician, this will help you manage your magic business and create more time. But also, if you're an amateur and you don't go out and do paid gigs, this will help you work on your practice time and how to make sure that there's more practice time built in and to make sure you enjoy it. Because time management isn't just about managing your time, it's also about creating extra time. It's also about making the tasks that you do them quicker so that you've got more time to do other stuff. And that's all I do. The reason I can do all of this stuff and create content and spend time with my family and blah, 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 is because I really laser focus on getting everything done as quickly as possible so that I've then got more time to do with what I want to do. It's called being a busy fool. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are a busy fool. They'll sit down to do something. They'll spend 3 or 4 hours doing a task that could have spent 10 or 15 minutes doing. And there's tricks and techniques that you can do to try and avoid that. So I've done that whole video for you. Like I say, it could be the first one in a series. I want to see how it's received. So it's going to go out on magic stuff probably this Thursday or next Thursday. So look out for it. But to answer everyone's question that asked about a time management video, it's filmed, it's edited, it's coming soon. Okay, so the next question is from Magic Tricks with a Z. And Magic Trick says, hope you're doing well. I have a question for you. What's your favourite packet tricks you do when you're performing? If so, what are they? Thanks, Craig. Yeah, I mean, I've done videos on magic stuff. I've done the 3 best packet tricks of all time, another 3 best packet tricks of all time, yet more best packet tricks of all time. So this is something that I've talked about a lot on the channel. Recently, at the moment, at gigs, I did a gig yesterday. I did a wedding yesterday on a Monday evening, which is kind of rare. I'm filming this on Tuesday morning. And I took Stroop Test with me. Now, I know there's a lot of people that are like umming and ahhing about Stroop Test. I absolutely love it as a lead into something more more meatier, if that makes sense. I find it's a really great way to just kind of grab people's attention. The problem with mentalism, a lot of the time, is it's not very quick. It takes ages to build up to what it is that you want to do. And I do have, I don't want to say mentalism, it's not mentalism, but I have a mental magic set, or a couple of mental magic sets that I do. And the key is trying to make that first routine engaging and quick enough that you want to grab everyone's attention. Especially as a lot of the other stuff that I do is kind of really high paced and really visual. So if people have seen me do that and then all of a sudden I take it down to this level, it can kind of be at odds. So I love Stroop Test because it is very quick. I can present it very, very quickly as, hey, boom, 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 done. So I did, excuse me, I did that quite a few times at the wedding yesterday, and that really killed. I do love that. I also took the, I mentioned it on the Kyle Purnell review show special, his version of Doc Daly's Last Trick, where you've got different coloured backs. I love that. I really do. That's so visual, and there's such a clarity of performance. And on the subject of Carl Purnell, the elimination experiment is also an incredible trick that works really well in the context of a mental magic demonstration. But you've got that killer second phase where it becomes pure magic, which is really nice. What else have I been carrying with me recently? I've been doing a version of Wildcard, which is something that I'm going to be bringing out for Alakazam at some point, but it's not with playing cards, it's with something else. But the concept is Wildcard basically, but it's just with something else instead. Twisted Sisters. I took Twisted Sisters yesterday as well. So yeah, I do like taking packet tricks. I absolutely love taking packet tricks. And I know hundreds. I'll probably do a top 10 list of packet tricks of all time at some point, or I'll do a few more, 3 of the best packet tricks. But at the moment, those are the ones that I'm kind of leaning really heavily on. But you tell me, what's your favourite packet tricks? I'd love to know. Okay, so the next question is by Tom Holbrook. Hey, Tom. Craig, your wisdom and skill is to be commended. Thank you. With the influx of new magic every single day, it seems, is it possible that you can do a few shows on classic, basic magic that you've updated presentations for? You know, things like the card frame, zigzag card, coin through handkerchief, pen through bill, the material we learnt in magic sets and magic books years ago. Thank you, Tom. You know what, Tom? I think that would be an incredible idea for a video series. I'm always looking for new ideas for video series. I think that would be a really good idea. One thing that I enjoy doing, one thing I really enjoy doing, is taking classic plots or classic props that everybody has used the same way for years and trying to see how I can turn them on their head. And I do this just for fun. Like I'll literally just take a prop and I'll be like, okay, right, that's what this is, right? What can we do to this to make it entirely different? Which is where the Visible project came from. Visible project came as a result of me doing that exact thing, right? So I took the Invisible deck, and over the course of weeks and months and years, I tried to wring out every possible presentational angle that I could from it, right? And the sequel to Visible, which is going to be on the Svengali deck, which is going to be coming at some point, hopefully before Christmas, I did the same thing. I've been using the Sven deck for years because I was a pitchman for many years. Well, not years, probably about 2 years, maybe something like that. I used to pitch Svengali decks on market stands, and what I used to do, for my own sanity, I used to see what else I could do with these Svengali decks, and I used to create tricks that didn't even look like a Svengali trick. And I remember I used to type the instructions up, and I used to sell people the Svengali decks, and I'd say, here's the instructions for this, and here's the instructions for this. So that's something that I've done for years and years and years as well. So I love taking classic props and working out new presentational angles for them and kind of trying to breathe new life into it. So I think that would be a really good series. You tell me, would you guys like to see that? Would you like to see me take a prop that everybody knows, that everyone's dismissed, and see if I can come up with something unique for it and then share it as a video on the channel, and I'll perform it, maybe get some live performance footage, and then kind of go deep into why I actually presented it that way, what the differences are, why it actually works the way it does, and you won't need a tutorial because it will be really beginner basic magic. If you want to see that, let me know. Tom, I think that's an amazing idea, dude. Thank you very much. But if enough people want to see it, I'll do it. Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so the next question is from One Magician CC. Great channel, love the content. Thank you, buddy. Thank you very much. My question is twofold. Where do you see yourself and your business in 5 years? Also, on retiring, are you hoping Ryland and your daughter Thea would take on the business? Cheers. Right, okay, well, that's a great question. So, 2 questions, really, I suppose. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do I see myself in 5 years? So, I don't want to get too deep into this. I really don't want to get too deep into this. But from a business point of view, and this is going to bore anybody who's not into business, but I'll do this as quickly as I can. So I run 2 companies, Slightly Unusual and Non-Stop Kids, right? And the day-to-day running of those businesses take a lot of time. Like I spend a lot of time working in Non-Stop Kids on recruitment and training and marketing and sales, and the same with Slightly Unusual because they're basically the same company. It's just that one's for kids entertainment and one's for corporates and weddings and so on and so forth. So where do I see myself in 5 years' time? Well, at the moment, currently, Sarah, my wife, is the managing director of both companies. So she's basically the managing director. On paper, I'm the sales and marketing director, right? So I'm over sales and marketing. She's pretty much over everything else, which is absolutely the way it should be, because I am the most disorganized person in the world. And in order to be the managing director of anything, you've got to be super organized, and I am not. Now, I've spoken to Sarah about this, and one thing that we would like to do is take a step back from both companies, because we've got other projects that we want to work on, and take a step back. But you can't take a step back and just leave it. It'd do fine. It'd do absolutely fine. But I think we need somebody in place as a managing director now, whether that's somebody that we headhunt and outsource and bring into the company, or whether that's somebody that's already a member of staff in the company and we hire internally and we bring them up to a level. At the moment, I think that the plan over the next year or two is to put somebody in place in the managing director role, so that they can literally do everything that we do. And it would need to be somebody with a lot of experience at that sort of thing, a lot of experience at entertainment, but they would literally take over the running of both businesses. So we would be involved in the board of director meetings and so on and so forth, but it would literally be a month-on-month thing, which would free up our time, which is important because there's other goals that I want to hit. But in many, many different areas. So everyone knows that I'm a motivational speaker. That's been picking up a lot recently. There's a lot of opportunities that are coming my way that I want to actually take advantage of, that would take me away from the business, which I don't want to do. Also, I want to spend more time on this channel. I want to spend more time. I genuinely believe I can try and help magicians. This is what this channel's all about. It's about trying to give back and give as much advice as I can for free. And I think with Netrix, I think I can provide a very cost-effective platform that people don't have to spend a fortune on tricks. They can literally just be a part of that and get access to a lot. Very passionate about that. And also, there's opportunities coming up for me to lecture. I've had goals within the magic industry that I'd like to hit for a long time. Things like appearing at the Magic Castle, lecturing at the Magic Castle, lecturing at Blackpool, all these different things that I've talked about in the past. And then there's another business that we want to get off the ground as well, that is a business, but we haven't done anything with yet. So the only way that will happen is to separate ourselves from the company. So we're still there, but we're not involved in the day-to-day running of it. So that's what, and in 5 years' time, I'd like to see that's the case. So I'd like to see that almost like there's a group over Non-Stop Kids and Slightly Unusual, and there's other companies under there as well, and we're not really involved in that day-to-day of any of the companies. That's the ultimate goal there. In terms of where would I see Ryan and Thea, you know what? If they wanted to run the company, that would be amazing. I would love this to be a family business and for them to come in and take control of it. I really would. My attitude is very simple. I'm not going to force them to do something that they don't want to do. If they don't want to be involved in the family business, I'm not going to try and force them to do something. They have to find their own path in life. And whatever it is that they do, I will encourage them. It's like with Ryland. Ryland loves magic. He eats, breathes, sleeps magic. He is incredible. We went to the car boot sale. For those people that don't know what that is, in the Midlands, there's a car boot sale where there's basically just lots of dealer stalls, and you walk around and there's areas where you can sit and chill. And me and Ryland went there and we had a fantastic time last Sunday. And Ryland was sitting down at the table. And loads of magicians were coming over, and he was just doing tricks for all of them, and doing card tricks and coin tricks and Rubik's Cube magic and stuff. And it was honestly, I was so proud watching him. Just like at one point there were like 20 magicians gathered around, and he was there just performing for them. And it's just like the confidence that kid has is incredible. I get nervous performing for magicians sometimes, and he's just there, no nerves at all, doing some really good stuff, knuckle busting stuff. So the point I'm trying to make here is he's very super excited about magic, but in 10 years' time, that might not be the case. Hey, he might have found girls or whatever it may be. He's got lots of other interests as well. He drums, he skateboards, he does karate. There's a lot of stuff that he does. Maybe he'll find something else. If he doesn't and he wants to join the business, I will encourage him to do that. I'd love him and Thea to take over the business, but they have to find their own path in life. And if he turned around to me and said, hey, I want to do this, I'd just encourage him. That's all it is. So, yeah, I suppose that answers both of your questions. Where's the business in a few years? And I'm hoping Ryan and Thea would take over the business. Yeah, I'm hoping they do, but I'm not going to force it on them. Okay, so the next question is by Dale Senior. How you doing, Dale? Hope you're well. Hi, Craig. Really enjoying the channel. Thank you. Some of the videos have very good information that a lot of people would be willing to pay for. You know what? A lot of people have said that. Some people say that the interviews that I do are better than the Penguin Lives, which is really cool. Would you be willing to pay? Would be willing to pay. So my question is, have you ever thought about doing a YouTube paid membership or Patreon so people can show you their gratitude and support? No, I haven't. Just because I want to put all this stuff out for free. It's just, and also if I do a paid service, I want to make it really good. I don't just want to have a little Patreon thing or a little YouTube thing. If I do a paid service, I want it to be the dogs, right? I want it to be the absolute best it can be, which is where Netrix is coming in, because Netrix is more than just tricks. It's, it's theory, it's marketing, it's gig advice. There's going to be exclusive interviews on there that you can't get on the channel. There's going to be sit-down sessions with magicians talking about a variety of different subjects. I've just done some with Steve Della, which are absolutely incredible. So there's going to be a ton of stuff on there. And if people want to pay, they can pay for Netrix when it launches. But outside of that, even when Netrix launches, I'm still going to be continuing to do the same schedule with this channel that I have been doing up until this point. And if people don't want to be in Netrix and they want to just watch my stuff on this channel, that's fine. I'm never going to charge people because I'd like people to have access to this information, and YouTube's the best way to give it out. Okay, so the next question is by William Herf. William says, greetings, Greg. Hey, William. I was looking to pick up a new split coin, preferably a Morgan dollar. Do you know any dealers that I could find a quality gimmick? Keep up the great videos. They are hands down the best on the platform. Thank you. And yes, William, the answer is go for the Greg Wilson split focus set. He does that in Eisenhower's and he does that in Morgan dollars. And the Morgan dollar version I have, it is incredible. It is the best split coin I've ever seen. And it comes with the split coin, but you also get another half of the split coin because the routines that Greg does, sometimes he makes 3 coins appear, so he does a one ahead thing. So you actually, so the split coin that you get with Greg's thing, it's actually more than the normal split coin, but you can take the piece off and have it as just a regular split coin. So all the stuff that I do on Split Happens, my DVD, you can do with Greg's product as well. The quality is absolutely amazing. And also it comes with like a 2-hour download with some incredible tricks as well. So if you look at, it's not cheap, but if you're looking for a really good quality split coin with some great routines and also a little bit extra there, I would recommend Greg Wilson's Split Focus. Me and Ryan reviewed it on the review show. I performed a couple of routines on it. So you can go see that review. If you just type in Split Focus, Greg and Ryan review show, I'm sure it'll come up. And you can check out the review there. But if you are looking for a really good split coin that's a Morgan dollar, make sure you go with Split Focus. Okay, so the next question is by Nevio. Hey, Nevio. Do you have any other ways to get gigs without spending money? I saw your last Q&A. And the Can You Teach Me a Trick method was brilliant. Well, you know what? I'm doing a whole video at the moment on how to actually get gigs without spending money, because from speaking to people, one of the big things that people say is, oh, I've got no money, but I want to be a professional magician. How do I get gigs? I can't afford to advertise. There's a million different ways that you can get gigs without spending money. A million different ways. I'm going to do a full video on it, okay? But I'll give you one more. I'll give you one more right now. I'll give you a sneak peek. So obviously there was the one on the last Q&A about the Teach Me a Trick method, which I'm glad you liked. Here's another one. If you guys are not on LinkedIn, get yourself on LinkedIn. Okay, get yourself on LinkedIn, simple as, and start posting on LinkedIn, start building up a profile on LinkedIn. What you need to do is you need to make sure that it's a really good profile. So set yourself up there as a professional magician, put some nice videos on there, or whatever it is that you can do, but get yourself a profile on LinkedIn. And then what you want to do is you want to, every time you meet people, anywhere, on the street, at a networking event, at a gig, whatever it is, anytime you meet people, say, hey, you on LinkedIn, can I connect with you? Okay. Now, how LinkedIn works is you have first, second, and third degree connections. First degree connections are like when you're friends with somebody, so it's when you're connected to them personally. Second degree connections are people you're not connected with, but you're connected to people they know. So there's you're connected to somebody who's connected to them, if that makes sense. And then third degree connections are somebody who's you're not connected to, but you're connected to somebody who's connected to somebody who's connected to them, right? This is important. You want to build up as many contacts as possible on LinkedIn, but you want it to be people that you actually know. Don't just blanket go through LinkedIn and go connect. Only connect with people that you know, or you've met in a gig, or you've met at a networking event, or you're friends with, or whatever it may be. Connect with as many people as possible. That's the key. I'm connected to about 8,000 people. Now, here's what you do. what you want to do is you want to set up a Google Alerts. What is Google Alerts? Well, it's a thing that you can set up for free. As LinkedIn is. LinkedIn is free, Google Alerts is free. And what Google Alerts allows you to do is it allows you to have an email come into your inbox every single day with an alert from Google with links through to anything that has a particular search term in that you define. So, for example, I have Google Alerts set up for awards dinner. A cocktail party. I don't know, there's a whole bunch. I set them up years ago. But I have Google Alerts set up for a whole bunch of different stuff, the sort of stuff that I want to actually perform at. And so every single day, Google will send me a list of anything new that's gone on the internet that has that search term. Now, you get the email, you go through the Google Alerts, and 90% of it is just rubbish, to be perfectly honest. But 10% of it will be very interesting, because what you'll have in there is a link through to a page on a website, and it might be a company website, and it might say, hey, our new annual dinner is going to be on the 20th of February next year. A ticket's now available from Tracy. This is her number, this is her email address. It's going to be a fantastic night. We want all of the staff to come and be a part of it, or something like that, or whatever it may be. But you'll see lots of stuff like that. Every single day, if you go through these links, you'll see lots of stuff. So now what this is doing is it's giving you a heads up. Oh, and you can define areas as well. So you can define an area. So for me, it might be Birmingham or Wolverhampton or whatever it may be. So now you're getting the heads up on lots of events that are being planned before it's even widely known. And you've also got the person who's organising the ticket sales. You've got their email address, you've got their phone number. So you're not going to phone them up, you're not going to do a cold call, but here's what you're going to do. You're going to go into LinkedIn and you're going to search for that person. If they're organising tickets for a company, they will be on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is like the social media platform for professionals. So you go on LinkedIn and you type in their name. And what will happen is it'll come up and you will have X amount of mutual connections. In other words, you're going to have X amount of people who are connected to you and also connected to that person. So in other words, those people know you because you've connected to everybody who you personally know. So those people know you, but they also are connected and know this other person, right? So all you're going to do is you're going to send an email or a message within LinkedIn. You're going to send a private message to all of those mutual connections. And what you're going to do is you're going to say, oh, by the way, when you search that person, you know it's that person because it'll have their company name and everything on there. But by the way, you send a message going, hey, I hope you're well. I haven't seen you in a while. Hope things good. I was wondering if you could help me. You're connected to this person. Their name is blah. They're running an event, and I really think I could help them by doing magic at their event. I think it would really elevate the event. Would you mind putting a recommendation and just dropping them an email? Now, everybody will say yes. You're never going to have anybody that doesn't say yes, because that's the purpose of LinkedIn. Business people helping business people. And especially if you're personally connected to them on LinkedIn, they're going to help you. Okay, so what's then going to happen? Let's say you've got 10 mutual connections. Those 10 people are going to message this person. And they're going to say, hey, you need to connect with this guy. You need to connect with Craig. He's a magician. He's really good. He can help you with this event. Hey, this is his, please connect with him. So now put yourself in the mind of this person that's organising this event. He has now had 10 people contact them and say, hey, you need to check out this magician. So what's going to happen is this person's going to look at your profile. This is where your profile needs to be good. If you're going after corporates, your profile needs to say, hey, specialist in corporate events, blah, 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 blah. And you need to have testimonials and things in there from corporate events that you've done. You have recommendations, you need to have videos, which takes a little bit of time, but it doesn't cost anything. So then they'll check out your profile, might check out your website as well. And then normally what will happen, 8 times out of 10, is they'll then send you a message or maybe send you an email or contact you in some way going, hey, I've been put in touch with you. Would you mind arranging a time to speak to me? So now this person's reaching out to me, which makes the sale so much easier because now I can go in, I already know about their event and go, yeah, how can I help you? Oh yeah, I get a lot of work through recommendation. Oh right, an event, yeah, I can do this. I've worked with all of these companies before, yeah. And you're in and you'll get the gig almost immediately. If they haven't got in touch with you, that other 20% of the time, you can then reach out to them. and connect with them. Send them a connection request and go, hey, I've been recommended I reach out to you. My name's Craig, I'm a magician. I've had a few people tell me that I should connect with you. Apparently you're running an event. If you'd like to chat at any point, please let me know. Don't make it too salesy. And then what will happen is they'll send you a message back going, oh yeah, I meant to call you. Yeah, let's set up a conversation on Zoom or something. And then boom, you're in. So that is a way of getting an unlimited amount of inquiries for free that are specific to the type of gigs that you want to work in, and how to get it so that you're not cold calling, but instead the person that you're wanting to work for is calling you. And that's the thing about marketing, right? That's the thing about marketing. It doesn't have to cost money. It doesn't have to cost a fortune. It can be done free, but all you have to do is take time. And if you take the time, then you can very easily get as many gigs as you want to. But anyway, that's that. I'm doing a video on this in the future. If you found this useful, please let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to see another video like this, if you want to see the video, tell me you're excited about it, and it might make me push it further up my never-ending list of videos that I need to make. Okay, so the next question is by Dimitro Fedorovsky. Hey, how you doing? Think I butchered your name. Sorry, buddy. Quick question. You keep referring to cabaret show. Is it the same as a parlour, same as stage, in between the parlour and stage show? Not quite parlour, not quite close up. For me, cabaret is a stage show. When you're doing a cabaret show, you're doing it on stage. So a cabaret show could be anything up to maybe 200 or 300 people. I tend to refer to a stage show as an illusion show. An illusion show is good for like 1,000 people, 2,000 people, because it plays to a really big audience. Parlour show, I like to think of really an audience of less than 30. So for me, a parlour show is kind of 30 people or less. A cabaret show is, a couple of hundred people, and a stage show or an illusion show is in the thousands. That's typically how I kind of think of it when I'm actually referring to stage, cabaret, and parlour. Hope that helps. Okay, so the next question is by Gary Lambert. Hey, Gary, I admire your passion. Thank you. Please tell me, I don't like our new Polymer currency, and try as I might, I just can't get on with them with extreme burn, for example. However, do you think they might actually be better for some old or new routines where their slippery qualities would be an asset? Yes, I do actually, mate, to be perfectly honest. And in fact, I'm doing a video at some point. It's been on my schedule for a while, but I keep getting distracted. But it is on my schedule, doing a video specifically on the Polymer notes. One thing that I read somewhere on the internet, and I can't remember where I read it. So I can't credit the person. It might have been a YouTube comment. But I read somewhere that the best way to deal with the Polymer notes when it comes to extreme burn is to very carefully fold them in half and then cut them in half, and then take some super clear sellotape and tape those two halves together. And then what you have is the Polymer notes where it folds absolutely perfectly, because the tape acts as a hinge. So if you like extreme burn and you want to do extreme burn and you want to have them fold down and flick up and fold down, and you want to do it with the new notes, super easy. Just take a Polymer note, cut it in half, get the really clear tape, not the cloudy tape or the yellow tape, really super clear tape. Tape it back together, one strip on one side, one strip on the other side, and then you have a Polymer note that you can't tell is taped, but it folds really, really nicely. So if you're wanting to do extreme burn, that's the way to do it, and that helps with a lot of other routines as well where you're using money. But in terms of other routines with Polymer notes, video is coming soon. Okay, so Darren Bain question. Hi, Craig. You mentioned sponge, which is, for those of you that don't know what sponge is, it's a routine I did where a coin and sponge ball change places multiple times, and you end up turning it into a steel ball, which I've seen you perform in another film you posted on Magic TV, and which you mentioned was on one of your DVDs. Can you remember which DVD this is on? I've got some of your DVDs, but can't find this effect. If not, will there be a tutorial on Netrix? Okay, I could probably figure it out, but I'd love to see a tutorial from you. So first of all, yeah, Sponge originally was on Split Happens as an Easter egg. This is back when Easter eggs were cool. So, and I can't remember how to access the Easter egg. I know it was a nightmare and hardly anyone saw it, but it's on as an Easter egg on Split Happens. However, it was using a split coin, and since then, I've ditched the split coin and I just use a regular coin. And I've actually got 3 or 4 different handlings of sponge as well. I've filmed it for Netrix, so it is one of the routines that are going to be part of the launch lineup of Netrix, and I teach the main routine, and then I think we're going to be teaching some bonus stuff with it as well, probably a month or 2 after launch. But the whole and that's the new version. So it's the new version that doesn't use a split coin; it just uses a regular coin. So you can borrow a coin, and I talk about how you can actually do it completely impromptu just by having the steel ball bearing, because you can take a napkin and you can crunch it up. And you can take the crunched up napkin and the coin and you can do exactly the same thing. But now you don't need a special coin. You don't need a sponge ball. You just need the final load. So it saves pocket space when you work in a restaurant, because you're always going to find napkins. So yeah, that whole thing is on Netrix, and it is actually filmed, edited. It's already done. The trailer's done. The landing page is done. It's already on the launch lineup for Netrix. So when you, if you, I don't want to assume, but if you do buy into Netrix, that'll be there immediately. Right, so the next question is from Mark Coward. Hey Mark. Craig, please don't balance your expensive laptop on the edge of the table like that. As an IT guy, it gave me nightmares. Your elbow was very close to knocking it off. Okay, so the next question is by MJ Mano. What is the best impromptu mentalism effect you know? Well, the best impromptu mentalism effect I know, there's a couple. There's impromptu. It depends on your definition of an impromptu, because I do something with a post-it notepad, which is technically impromptu if I can borrow a post-it notepad. But if I'm working in an office or something like that, that becomes impromptu. But let's just assume that we're not talking about working in an office. What's the best impromptu mentalism effect I know? To be honest, if I've got my phone on me, I always go into Locked and Loaded or Wikitest or Instaprime. I've got a ton of mentalism that I can do on my phone, and I always have my phone on me. So that kind of becomes like go-to. I also have business cards on me all the time, and so I can very easily do a center tear, because center tears are really cool. If you haven't seen Alexander Marsh's Cocktail, which is available through 1914, he teaches an amazing center tear, and actually he actually justifies the use of tearing the billet up or the card up, which most people don't do. I'd check out Cocktail, and there's so much you can do with the center tear. There really is. What else do I do? If somebody's got a watch, I do the Richard Ostland routine off one of his DVDs with a watch and a folded up card, and you have someone fold up a card and write a time down, and you have somebody else turn a watch, and then you read the mind and tell them what the time is, and then when they look at the watch, they've set it to that time. That's completely impromptu. As long as you have one business card on you, you are good to go. Trying to think of anything else. I mean, obviously, I've got mentalism effects in my wallet as well. I've got will to read, I've got gossip. I use random happenings in there as well. So I've got a sheet from random happenings in my wallet along with the prediction. So I've got a little mentalism act in my wallet that I can take around with me everywhere. Is there anything else that I do impromptu? Not really. Not really, to be honest. If I'm going to do impromptu stuff, I'll be honest with you, I'm less of a mentalist. I'm more of a magician. So a lot of the time I'll borrow some coins and I'll do some coin magic. That's my go-to be perfectly honest. If I have got business cards with me, and pretty much I always have business cards with me, there's a really nice Jay Sankey thing from Something Blows to the Head. I think it's 20 Blows to the Head or something like that. It's an old Jay Sankey DVD. And he's got this really nice one-ahead principle with business cards. So it's a way of just taking apparently 3 business cards, and you're doing this one-ahead thing, but you're doing it in a really clean way. The structure of it is great, and it looks really, really awesome. So there's that as well that I do. But yeah, that's pretty much it, to be honest. Like I say, when I'm going impromptu, first of all, I always have an everyday carry on me, so I don't have to worry about this stuff because I'm obsessed with everyday carry. So I've always got stuff on me in my wallet. I can do like a half-an-hour set from my wallet and my phone and my keychain. So I'm never going to be in a situation where I've got nothing on me. But having said that, there are things that I can do impromptu if I've got nothing. But yeah, a lot of the time it'd just be borrowing some coins and doing some coin magic, because that's more my style. It's more my brand, if that makes sense. Okay, so the next question is by Elliot Borland. Do you know anything about Chris Congreve and Gary Jones's new book, Alas, Chris and Jones? No, not really. I am meeting up with Chris at some point in the next week or two because he's obviously filming stuff for Netflix, and I'm planning on doing a review show special on the book. I did a review show special on his first book, and it was very well received. I think I should do one on this book as well. A lot of people are talking about it, so I think it would be a good idea to do. So I will be doing a review show special on his new book, but I know Chris Congreve, I know Gary Jones, I know the material is going to be absolutely killer. There's certain people, and you just know that they're not going to put out something that's rubbish because their reputation is more important to them. And Chris Jones and Gary Congreve, Chris Congreve and Gary Jones are those two people. Their reputation is more important to them than anything. So I haven't seen the book, I haven't read the book. I will be seeing the book, I will be reading the book, but I can tell you right now with absolute certainty it will be a killer because that's who these guys are. Okay, so many people have also asked about the day in the life video, which I will be doing. So that will be coming. A lot of people have said that they want to see it, so we're going to make it happen. So yes, I will be doing a day in the life at some point, a day in the life video. You get to see me in the office. I can't understand why people want to see it, but I'm going to do a full day in the life vlog, little documentary type thing, so you can see me in the office and what I get up to in a day. It might be a nice follow on to the time management video so you can see a lot of what I'm talking about in action. So I need to film that, but it'll probably come at some point in October. Okay, so the next question has been asked by pretty much everybody on the channel. I have had messages, I have had emails, I have had phone calls, I have had WhatsApps, I have had comments on literally every video saying to me, is this Sean Haydon thing real? Is there really a beef between you and Sean Haydon? And let me tell you the absolute truth, right? Okay, so let me tell you 100% accuracy where I am with the Sean Haydon thing. First of all, I have not spoken to Sean Haydon for months. I have not spoken to him for months. To be honest, I don't really know Sean Haydon at all. Don't really know him at all. I know Wayne, know Dave, don't really know Sean Haydon. I did book tickets during the third lockdown in the UK. He was advertising an online magic show. And I did book tickets for me and my family to watch his online show, which was very good. And I rang him up and I said, hey, can I have tickets? And he sent me the tickets and it was all good. That is literally the last time I spoke to him. Don't really know him very well. If you guys remember to a Q&A just before this whole thing kicked off, somebody asked a question, who's your favourite member of the Wizard Product Review? And I said, they're all great. Don't really know Sean very well. That's the truth. I don't really know him very well. Got no problem with him, but I don't know him very well. So then he did the chicken thing, right? And I could tell he was joking. People were saying in the comments, oh, I think he was joking. I know he's joking. And I also know that Dave Penn was probably winding him up about it as well. But I know he was joking. And my first video, the first video I put was very tongue-in-cheek. It was very tongue-in-cheek. And you can tell that because I was cutting wrestling promos, for God's sake. It was like a WWE wrestling promo. I was doing it very tongue-in-cheek. He called me a chicken, so I went back with a video, right? Okay, so that's all it was. It was like, he did this thing, I did this thing. Didn't speak to him about it at all. Not one jot. Did not speak to him. I did that video. Then, a couple of weeks later, he put his response at the beginning of the Wizard Product Review, and he talked about Red. And that caused a lot of crap for me because I get a lot of people about Red at the best of times. And I'm not going to go into this now because I have spoke extensively on this channel about Red. It's not like something that I've tried to hide from my past that I've I'm trying not to talk about. I have openly talked about it over and over and over again. And it gets to a point as a content creator where you get sick to death of asking the same question a million times. And I've been very open about the fact that, yeah, I screwed up. People do screw up, and it's not about how you screw up. It's about how you deal with things that matters, right? And off the back of Red, it ramped up. I mean, it was seriously ramped up. You know, so many people talking about Red. You know, there's this just in the Q&A section, like there's a question from somebody. I'm trying to find it now. Can't find it, but in the Q&A section today, somebody has said, hey, you stole Red, you're a liar and a thief, and blah, 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 blah. And there's this guy called Andy Clifford saying, you know, Craig really is a thief. I can't find it now, something like that. You stole Red and you know it, you were pressured to leave the show, you're a failure, Mr. Petty. All this sort of stuff, and it brought the whole thing. People were suddenly going on about Red again, and it's kind of like, I want to get on with this. I don't want to be doing videos going on about Red all of the time, like constantly having to defend myself about something that I did 7 or 8 years ago. And I literally woke up the day after the Wizard product review, and I had literally, I'm not joking, about 100 comments from people going, "You stole Red, you're a liar." And it's just like, okay, let's start talking about it again. So that really annoyed me. Yeah, I won't lie, that really annoyed me. And so I went back with the video, and I went back and I did the video that I did on Thursday, and you can probably tell there was a little more venom in that video than the first video. It was still tongue-in-cheek, I was still cutting wrestling promos, but there was a little more venom in there. And the reason there was a little more venom in there is because I wanted to kind of say, I thought it was out of order that Sean brought up Red. I also thought it was out of order that Dave sat there and he was like, "I can neither confirm or deny." Now, I've known Dave long enough to know that he was joking there. I could tell he was joking, but I know from the comments that I've received, there's a lot of people that thought he wasn't joking. And I've worked very hard to say to people, no, I didn't get kicked off the Wizard product review. I didn't get kicked off the Wizard product review. I was there for a year after Red. How could I have got kicked off the Wizard product review? But then you've got all of these people going, "Oh, God, look what Dave Penn said. Oh, look at what Sean did." So yeah, there's a bit more venom in the second video because, well, it's like I said, like the subject of the title, those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. You know, it's not like Sean Haydon is completely blameless in this whole thing and has never taken somebody else's product and repurposed it as his own. You know, that's just a fact, and I wanted to point that out in the second video. I would like to. What's the conclusion to this thing? I think that I'd love to see a magic off. I think that'd be fun. Ultimately, I want people to have fun watching this, and overwhelmingly, most people have been having fun watching this back and forth with me and Sean. And it is a little bit like wrestling, isn't it? It's a little bit like wrestling in that he's cutting a promo, I'm cutting a promo, and it's leading to this big thing where we're competing man on man, face to face. And I'd like to see that happen. And if people are getting enjoyment out of that, then that's cool. That's cool, because ultimately we've been through 18 months of sheer hell on earth where we haven't been able to perform. It's been really terrible. Everybody's been really depressed. And if people are getting enjoyment out of me and Sean going at each other, I don't know Sean well enough, but I know him as a person. As I know him, I know the type of person he is. And I think he's probably taking this the same way I am, which is generally just having a laugh with it. And I know he's probably going to come back at me with something else. And if people are enjoying watching this back and forth, that's great. And for the people that are like, "Oh, it's bringing magic down." No, it's not. No, it's not bringing magic down. No, it's not. We're just having fun going back and forth with each other. I don't think there's anything really serious going on there. And the subject of rants, so many people go, "Don't rant. Oh, don't rant on the video. Don't rant. You shouldn't rant. You shouldn't rant. Don't do the rant videos." Look, for the people that tell me not to do the rant videos, the simple solution is don't bloody watch the rant videos. There's 26 videos that go up a week on this channel. Q&As, interviews with magicians, review shows, advice, performances, all of this stuff, all this really good stuff that people get something out of. And then once a week, I put a rant video up. And it's normally about something that's annoying me, or it's about something that's ticked me off, or it's about something that I think that we should talk about within the industry that other people aren't talking about. And I feel that I want to talk about that. And it's my channel, so I will talk about it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. But I see people that watch the rant video, and then they go on the rant video and they go, "Oh, I hate this rant video." Why are you watching it then? I was watching a Ricky Gervais stand-up, Humanity, the other day, and he did this great bit, and he was talking about something or other, I can't remember, and he gave a great analogy. He said it works with this as well, and the analogy was going up to, like when people leave adverts on telephone poles, and you can pull off the little thing at the bottom, having an advert for free for guitar lessons. "Hey, I'm offering guitar lessons. Here's the phone number." And you really hate guitar lessons, and you take this thing and you ring it up and you go, "I don't want guitar lessons." Well, that's fine. If you don't want guitar lessons, you don't have to scream at the guy that you don't want guitar lessons. Just walk on by. It's the same with the rants. If you don't like seeing the rants on this channel, don't watch them. But they're one of the most popular videos on the channel, so people do watch them. But if you don't want to watch them, don't watch them. And if you do watch them, don't comment on the video going, "I hate the rant videos." You're being hypocritical. Just don't watch them. There's loads of other videos on the channel that you could watch. Pick one of them. Watch a performance video. Watch a review. Watch an interview. Don't watch the rant videos. If they annoy you, it's simple. Don't watch them. Okay, so the next question is by Mike Tyson by TKO. Hey again, Mike, how you doing? Hey Craig, how are you? Good, thanks man. What's your Mount Rushmore of magic? How about your Mount Rushmore of mentalism? Thanks for your endless, fantastic content. I appreciate all you do for our community. I'm all in on a day of the life of Craig vlog. Right, okay. I'm not going to answer this, and the reason I'm not going to answer this is because I think this is an incredible idea. The Mount Rushmore of magic, Mount Rushmore of mentalism. And how I answer the Q&As is I do them off the spur of the moment. I literally just sit here and I just read them and I give you my instant thoughts on this, which I think is important for the Q&A rather than having it all rehearsed. And I think this question deserves a more thought out answer. And with your permission, what I'd like to do is take your concept and do a whole video on this, like the Mount Rushmore, and have like sort of 5 sections, and you know, like the Mount Rushmore of coin magic, the Mount Rushmore of card magic, the Mount Rushmore of mentalism, the Mount Rushmore of comedy magicians. I think that would be a really cool video to do, and maybe talk about why I think each person belongs in that actual list. I think that'd be a really great idea. So I don't want to ruin it by just quickly regurgitating off the top of my head who I think would be the best. I want to actually put some time and effort and thought into this because I think it's such a good concept. I hope you're okay with that, Mike. Okay, so the final question is by Andy Clifford. Now, for those of you that don't follow me on Instagram, Andy Clifford has been posting various comments on various different videos on Magic TV, basically calling my ethics into question. There's about 40 different comments right now, and a lot of them are on the Q&A, so I'm gonna bring it up. Like, let me just read a couple of them out to you. And gossip, oh my God, it's total load of crap, total thief, Red, you wanker. You stole Red and you know it. You were pressured to leave the show. You're a failure. What else have we got here? Craig is now taking credit for the invisible deck. I don't think he's there. 2 shorts of a 6-pack. And that obnoxious son of his drives me mad. Maybe he should rename his channel to Blatant Lies and Dishonesty. He really is full of shit. Reviewing an invisible deck, creating the invisible deck, you didn't invent it, dickhead. Everyday carry, yes, something else you stole. People don't know what a slimy creep you are. Day in the life of Craig, oh my God, you narcissist. Right, so Andy, I'm going to give you some advice here. And my advice is twofold. Okay, and this isn't a rant video, this isn't a Friday night rant, so this isn't going to turn into a rant, Andy. But here's the thing, there's 2 pieces of advice I'm going to give you right now. And this is specifically just for Andy. Okay, I want you to pretend there's nobody else watching this. I want you to pretend, Andy, that this is me talking to you. Okay, giving you some advice. So the first piece of advice I'd give you, Andy, is you need to chill out. You need to chill out. It's obvious that you've got a beef with me, and that's fine. That's cool. That's not a problem. Hey, there's people I don't like that I know other people love. You don't like me, that's cool. I know I'm a polarizing character. A lot of people don't like me. I speak my mind. There's no shades of grey with me. There's only black and white, so that's cool. You don't like me. I get that. But dude, you're wasting your time posting all over the internet. You're posting absolutely everywhere. You're posting on this video. You're posting on this video. And it's making you look bad, dude, because you don't even know what you're talking about. You know, you're saying I'm claiming that I invented the invisible deck. I'm not claiming I invented the invisible deck. On the project, I spent 20 minutes talking about the history of the invisible deck and how it was created and what its name was before it was the invisible deck. All I'm doing is I'm offering presentational ideas on the invisible deck. But saying stuff like this, it lowers your credibility rating. It stops making you look credible. And what I mean by that is anybody who reads that knows that you have no idea what you're talking about, because everybody knows what the concept of visible is. It's like you're turning around and saying, oh, Craig invented the everyday, Craig's claiming he invented the everyday carry. No, I'm not. I'm not inventing. How could I claim that I invented the everyday carry? All I'm doing is I'm doing videos on routines and tricks that would be perfect for an everyday carry. I'm releasing tricks like gossip that are perfect for an everyday carry because it fits in your wallet. And then you talk about gossip and you say, oh, gossip shit. Well, that's fine. That's your opinion. I personally don't think that you've got it. You're just saying that. And the reason I think that is because you don't even understand what visible is. You don't even get the concept behind the visible project. So it's obvious that you're just saying things to make me mad. But here's the thing. I can understand why you think saying things like that would make me mad. Because you see me on a Friday come out and do these rant videos, and you see me going, rah, 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 and you think, well, it's very easy to make Craig mad. Let me tell you, it's not actually really easy to make Craig mad. A lot of the time on those rant videos, I'm not actually that annoyed. Not actually that annoyed. To make a point, I get more annoyed than I actually am. Now, there's some that I'm annoyed with. Hanson Chen, when he took on Alan Morrison, I was really annoyed about that. The illusionist stuff, some of the illusionist stuff, I was annoyed about that. Not everything. The Sean Haydon thing, like I just said earlier on in this video, I was over the top. But here's the thing, Andy. You're going all over my channel. And you're posting all over my channel on various different videos. It's coming across like you're obsessed with me. You need to chill out, okay? Because obsession is never good. Posting everywhere about me, that's not a really good look, especially as it's a fake YouTube channel and you've got no content on there and it's just been set up. You've never posted anything other than slagging me off. So if you hate me, that's fine. But this is now bordering on obsession. That comment that you said, it sounds like you're just an insane person. I can't remember what the comment was now. It was the one about gossip. Where is it? Here it is. There we go. This one. Oh no, that wasn't it. Oh yeah, gossip. Oh my God, it's total crap. Total thief. Red, you wanker. It's almost like you want to fit in as many different things into a post as possible. Okay, so you think I stole red? I did. Everyone makes a mistake, Andy. But you need to dial it back a bit. You need to be less obsessed. Okay, you need to chill out. It's not healthy. You don't like me, that's cool. Here's the advice. Don't watch Magic TV. Don't watch my videos. If I wind you up so much, if you hate me so much that you have to go everywhere and talk to people about how much you hate me, think about all of the things that you could be doing with your life if you actually took all of that negative energy and put it into something positive. Think about something you've always wanted to do and you haven't done. Go and do that. Next time you feel about going on the internet and posting about me, don't. Go and do something else. So that's the first tip. Obsession's not good. Try and move yourself away from Magic TV. It's obvious that I wind you up. So I don't want you to be watching this, being in a situation where you're constantly being wound up by me. The second thing is, and this is not a rant video, so I'm not going to rant, but never, ever go after someone's son. Never go after someone's kid. Because that is how you make things personal between you and me. And I know you posted on one of the videos somewhere saying, Craig isn't a hard man. Craig pretends he's the hard man, but he's not a hard man. I don't pretend I'm a hard man. I'm not a hard man. I stick up for myself, but I'm not a hard man. But the one thing that will trigger me is if you or anybody else starts attacking my son online. He's an 8-year-old kid, and he has more talent and more ability than any other kid I know. Hell, he's got more time. He spends hours practicing every single day. He sits down in front of magicians and he performs flawlessly. He loves magic. He personifies what magic should be all about because he has that youthful ignorance. All he wants to do is perform magic all the time. He learns 2 new tricks every single week to perform on this show. He is not obnoxious. And if you want to make a problem between you and me, if you want there to be an issue between you and me, put aside all of that advice that I just gave you in point 1. If you continue to run your mouth about my 8-year-old son, there will be problems. And that is when I will track you down. I promise you. You want to back off from Ryland. I'm telling you right now, he has more ability than most people I ever met. He is an 8-year-old kid, and turning round on a video and calling him obnoxious when all he does is work his hardest to do the best magic he can do, that's bang out of order. And I will not accept you or anybody else attacking my son for no reason. So the second piece of advice I've got for you, Andy, is back off from Ryland. So that's it, guys. That is another Q&A in the bag. Thank you very much. There were some great questions asked this week, and I really appreciate every single one of you asking a question. Don't forget, I will be back next week with a normal Q&A. There's no specials going on next week. So if you've got any questions, please ask them in the comments to this video, and I promise I will get to them next week. Any questions? Nothing's off the table. Whatever you want to ask is absolutely fine. Also, don't forget, if you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I'm going to be back on Sunday night, later on today. I'm going to be back with another review show special, so look out for that. And outside of that, thank you very much for watching. You guys are absolutely amazing. On Monday, I'm going to be here with 3 videos. At 2 o'clock, there's going to be a shorts. 6 o'clock, there's going to be a live. 9 o'clock, there's going to be a Q&A. No, there's not. There's going to be a 5x5, Magic 5x5. So I'll see you again. Thanks very much for watching. My name's Craig from Magic TV.